Hi, it's Delusion Dispeller back again to talk to you more about borderline and narcissistic personality disorders as compared with each other. And this is based on my opinion only and on my own personal experiences with people that I believe showed these traits. They were not clinically diagnosed as having these disorders, however, they fit the description and the symptoms of both disorders. They were two different people with both two disorders. The second person, I believe, has an overlapping of both borderline and narcissistic disorder. Okay, first of all, they both feel very inadequate deep down inside. They both come from abuse and neglect situations and trauma. One of them also was idealized by her parents and made basically the golden child or the star child, I guess you would say. Both are needy and leechy. Both are very self-focused, but the narcissist is focused on a false self. That's the difference. Borderlines are self-focused about their symptoms and their emotionality and their depression. Narcissists are focused on self, but it's a false image of themselves. That's my opinion on that, and I'm not a psychologist, so please don't mark this in stone. Just base it on what you feel within yourself you've experienced. Okay, both the narcissist and the borderline demand excessive attention, but in different ways. The borderline sees people as all good and all bad, and reacts with anger or depression and pulling away to perceived rejection. So you may not be really rejecting them, but if they even sense that maybe that's what you're doing, even if it's just in their own head, they will become very defensive. They will become very punishing and angry. But then they also come back to you. So it's the I hate you, get out of my life, I don't know what I ever saw in you, but wait, don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't go. Please can't we talk about it? So it's the I hate you, don't leave me syndrome. And this person wants your hugs and your affection and your affirmation a lot of times. And then some borderlines don't want any of that. It just depends on the person. There's no one size fits all in any disorder really, or anything in life. Borderlines often will punish themselves if somebody leaves. So a borderline is more likely to internalize things and do self-damage rather than purposely hurt another person. So this involves cutting, this involves pills, this involves bodily harm, sometimes starvation, and it's kind of a self-punishing type of mode. A narcissist, on the other hand, will react with anger and depression if they feel rejected, but they'll actually also use manipulation and punishment to punish the person that they feel is rejecting them. So they'll use bait and switch situations where they'll promise you something and then they'll yank it back at the last minute and not reward you. They'll use double binds where they tell you to do something but then trip you up as you're trying to do it for them and then turn and blame you. They'll smear you. They'll devalue you. They will use something called gaslighting where they will, for instance, if you had a pill box and you left it on the table, they'll move it over to the chair. And then when you say, what happened to my pill box? They'll say, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. And they'll say, oh, here it is on the chair. And you'll say, huh, I thought I put it on the table. No, you didn't. You're mistaken. I think you're just, I think you need to see a doctor. You've been doing this a lot lately. And pretty soon you'll start feeling you're crazy. That's called gaslighting. The attention that a narcissist wants is not hugs and affection, but adoration. They want to be adored and admired and aggrandized by you. A borderline wants somebody to be their savior, but they'll also they also will want the person to not reject them. So they'll reject the person before the person can reject them. Even if the person's not going to reject them, to a borderline, they suspect that you might. So they're going to reject you before you can reject them. With a narcissist, they want not somebody to be their savior, but somebody to be their slave. And what they do is they project all the bad things inside themselves that they can't deal with onto the other person. Often you're going to find yourself thinking when they say something negative about you, wait a minute, that thing you accused me of, that's not me, that's in you. And you'll be very right because they use something called projection, which means I can't be bad. I can't possibly have anything wrong with me, so it's got to be you. I believe this is also known as splitting, where they actually divide themselves from who they really are, and they put who they are deep down inside, the bad parts of themselves, onto you. Correct me if I'm wrong in that. As I said, this is my opinion. I'm not a therapist. This is just what I've seen and experienced and my perception of it. A narcissist always wants you to be one step ahead at all times. So they'll say something like, well, my friend always had my tea ready as soon as I got home. What's wrong with you? I shouldn't have to tell you to do that. You should just know that I want that. So they expect you to read their mind a lot of times. And like I said, be one step ahead. The borderline wants you to be able to read their minds too, because they want you to know if they're not talking to you that they're upset or they're angry or maybe they're happy, and you just don't know a borderline's feelings because they don't express them in a way that truly depicts what they're feeling. And then shame on you if you don't understand where they're at the time, even though they're the ones that chose to close off to you. So they'll become upset in any given moment if you don't read their minds. That's the thing with borderlines. Okay, I'm going to conclude this video real quick and start again up on the next video so I can keep these down to 5-6 minute segments. So we'll see you on the next video. From Delusion Dispeller, God bless you. Bye bye for now.